All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to my channel. Tonight I'm going to be talking about vices, and in particular, I'm going to review the Renzetti, the Presentation 4000. So before I talk about this vice, in about 2012, 2013, it was around there, I started tying flies. And I started tying on this vice right here. This is the Montana Pro vise. This is a stationary vise, non-rotary, and I tied on this for years, and this is an excellent vise. I mean, a lot of flies went through this. These jaws are really long, and they are incredibly powerful. I mean, talk about bang for your buck. $100. This vise was $100, and it's an excellent vise. And then I moved on to a buddy of mine got a Renzetti Traveler, and we had a tying night, and I really liked his vise. And so I decided to get a Renzetti Traveler as well. And I tied on that for a couple of years. I want to say like 3 years. And it was a great vise. I loved it. Really smooth. I mean, it did everything that I wanted it to do. And one day I kind of got an itch to get a new vise. I don't know why. I'm kind of a frugal individual, and the Renzetti Traveler was just fine, but I wanted a little bit of a nicer vise. And so I ended up getting the Renzetti Presentation 4000, which you see here. And the Renzetti Presentation is about twice, it's actually a little bit more than twice the Traveler. And the thing about this vise, this Presentation 4000, is that if you go online, if you go onto YouTube, you're not going to find a lot of reviews. There's a couple online, not a lot. If you go to the Renzetti website, the Renzetti website is very simple. It doesn't, it just gives some of the specs. That's about it. This one kind of gets lost in the shuffle between the master vices on the high end and the Travelers. And the Traveler's the #1 selling Renzetti vise, and then I would probably say after that maybe the Masters. This one kind of gets, again, like I said, lost in the shuffle. But one of my heroes ties on this vise, and I wanted to get one. Kind of a silly reason to get a vise, but anyway, it's what I did. But this is the Presentation 4000, and so let me share some of the differences between this and the Traveler. The vise, the base on this is a little bit different. It is a bigger vise, so I think the Traveler is a 5x5 base. This is a 6x6. So it's substantially larger, and it's quite heavy. The majority of the flies that I tie are trout flies. I mean, I've tied some fairly large steelhead flies, but most of them are trout flies, and so the problem with bases lifting, I don't have any of that problem at all. I don't tend, and I'm a fairly, I think, light-handed tyer. I don't reef on my flies. And so I haven't had any problem with any movement at all. And I didn't have any problem with the Traveler either. This one thing I do like about this base is that this post, this knob right here that tightens the post in place, it's a lot more substantial than the Traveler. The Traveler, every once in a while while the base didn't pick up, every once in a while I'd get some like lateral movement. But this one really solves that problem because you can really reef down on this knob and tighten it up, and that stem is going nowhere. The materials are a little bit different than the Traveler. The Traveler are made of aluminum. The post here is stainless steel. The hardware on this vise is brass. It's a little bit nicer. It's a little bit smoother, I would say. I would not say it's a lot smoother than the Traveler. It's a little bit smoother, that's for sure. Again, the shaft on here, the bent shaft, is stainless steel. This one is a little bit longer. You'll notice that in relation to the bent shaft on the Traveler, this presentation's a little bit longer. I think they say it's about 1 inch longer, which is really nice if you're tying streamer patterns, especially articulated streamer patterns. It gives you a little bit more room for the 2 flies. Has, in addition to the stainless steel and the brass, it has some anodized aluminum up here. The jaws are upgraded. They're a little bit harder steel, and they have nicer coatings on them, according to Renzetti. The jaws will hold flies from range 28 to 4/0. That's what it says on the website. I've been told that it'll hold up to a 6/0, no problem. I've never tied a fly that big. Again, like I said, I've tied, I believe 1/0 is the biggest I've tied, and it'll go down up to a 28. And I've never tied a fly that small either. The smallest I've tied is, I believe, a 22, and it held that just fine. And so one of the features that this has that the Traveler does not have is it has this ratchet. If you're into this feature, you can loosen up the rear knob here, and you can turn the vise into a ratcheting vise, where it's a one-way ratchet. It has a one-way bearing in there. And some people really like that feature. I don't use it. I've kind of tried it out, and I found that I don't use it like I thought I would. In fact, to be honest, I don't think I anticipated using it much anyway. So I just lock it down. And it's really easy to do. You just line them up and tighten it up, and then you got it. The reviews I saw online about this vise, people were raving about how smooth it was, and how it's so much smoother than the Traveler, and it definitely rotates more smoothly. This has ball bearings in it, but once you tighten up the vise and so it stops where you stop, you kind of lose that smoothness, that ultra smooth difference between the Presentation and the Traveler. It's still super smooth, but you don't feel it as much because you do have that tension that keeps it stationary when you stop rotating. But overall, I really like this vise. I'm glad I got it. Was it worth the extra money? From a functional standpoint, I would say no. I think you're going to get pretty much all the functionality of this one in a Traveler. But this is a more attractive vise. It's made of more durable materials. It's a prettier vise, and aesthetically, I like it more. Is it worth the extra dollars? Only you can decide that. I have no regrets buying it, but I would not say it's a massive, massive jump from the Traveler at all. I don't have it on here, but this also comes with a bobbin holder, which I use and which is great. Super smooth, super adjustable. Comes into the space where you want to use it, and it's easy to take it away. So if you guys have any questions about this vise, don't hesitate to contact me. I'll do my best to answer any comments below, but hope you enjoyed this review. I hope it was helpful. Have a good one.